Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on the ICC right now, following Grandmaster Psycho Cowboy, who's clearly gone a little psycho here. H4. Can't even say that that's some mouse slip. Okay, so what to do when you're out of opening theory after just 3 moves? Alright, well, white's going to hang on to this pawn. Black has a nice center. Where's the king going to go is my question. Alright, so I guess grab some space. Now, you could take twice on this square now. This rook is unprotected. I don't see any trick involved. Oh my goodness. Clearly gone completely psycho. Alright, this is a 2-to-1 majority in the center. That's not the first thing that captures my attention, but alright. Pressure on this pawn. How to defend? That's actually not so easily defended. Wow. Okay, so this leaves a gap on d4. White is, well, black is up the exchange, but there's some squares white could be playing into. I wonder if we could see queen d4 at some stage. Bishop here could be quite annoying. Don't forget about this pawn. He might want to play up to h6. What a wacky game. Alright, so it's just stopping bishop b5 altogether. Knight takes bishop be on board? No, just more development hitting at d5. Bishop c6 can be met with b5. Wow. What's the pawn count? I've lost track. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's just an exchange. Okay. You might see, well, this knight is loose. I was thinking of ideas on the white side, g4, g5. How does black complete development, though? How do you defend this pawn? Not so easy. This knight has some interesting jumping points here. Knight b5 maybe at some stage if bishop e6 to defend. What other candidate moves might there be? If simple development, bishop e7, knight takes, queen takes. You ready to grab another, both black center pawns. Okay, we might be having this. Black's just getting on with development, maybe giving up both center pawns to get castled. No. Knight takes bishop. And, alright, queen or knight takes seemed quite appealing. I like the white side here. 2 bishops, soon to be bearing down on what is likely going to be kingside castle. Yep. Bishop c4, queen takes pawn, knight takes pawn. I'm not sure which one. Or even queen takes b7. A lot of interesting options here. Queen takes b, no, knight takes e. Not going with development, so is there a way that black could stir up some trouble against this king? No great entry points for the rook. a2 is covered by the queen. Welcoming trades. I think white is, well, white is up, white's the better side here, no doubt. I think at least. Maybe there is doubt all of a sudden. Knight f6, you could trade a bunch of times. This might be an idea. If you could remove this bishop on b2, getting a rook to a1 could be quite annoying. So I think this is what black is gunning for. Yeah, and white anticipated the removal of this dark square bishop and the entry on a1, so avoiding the exchange, keeping this bishop on board, and now breaking at this structure. C takes b, bishop takes b. Alright. I wonder if there's going to be some move like bishop c4 and on b takes c, b5, just bypassing to get development in. And I think everything's kind of shut down. Yeah, I think we're going to have that. So b5, yeah. And now this should be a pretty good home. King e2. And where do we stand? King e2. Ideally, white would like to keep the rooks on board. Let's see. Interesting. These knights are offsetting one another as soon as he moves. One of my first thoughts would be on the white side to improve knight d5, but where would he even go? Reposition knight g4 to e5, not quite sure what that's doing. It's my first thought. I don't think you should castle here. King e2 and even king f3 if needed. Might be needed. Rook d2 is the threat. It seems awkward to run in reverse. We might have the rook trade. Yeah. Although this knight could then improve. Rook d1 now. Okay, so just retreating, keeping the rook on board. There's a slow approach too. I mean, I think the whole queen side is really under control. If we look at all the entry points over here on the A file, the open file here, can't really enter so easily. F3, G4, expanding. Knight E5 is a threat. Removing the defender of B5. Huge time advantage. Just realizing that right now. So there goes the H-pawn. Isn't this a problem though? And dropping that very valuable passed pawn, B-pawn. Maybe F4 would have been better, just to stop knight to E5. Yeah, I'm not so sure about H5. That seems way too slow. He is unprotected. Not so many options. Where exactly to go? There goes the B-pawn. Now this is a problem. There's got to be some way to enter, I would think, over here. Get the rook over on A8. A1 squares. White is trying to still stir up some trouble against the king here. To take or not? Tough call, actually. If you don't take, there's back rank issues, and he becomes he remains a thorn. 1 minute remaining for Team Black. Wow, okay. Kicking the knight, so C4 can be scooped up. Knight D3. That's my first thought. This knight is unprotected but unaccessible. So too is the bishop. He is accessible. Immediate pressure placed on him, and he's defended and with a counterpunch against the rook. This is netting some material, at first glance at least. Pawn takes knight. We're going to have this ending? Bishop ending, dark square bishop ending? Or do you just move the bishop? No. Okay, so 2 pieces coming up. Black's going to scoop up 2 pieces. No, bishop to b4. That was very unexpected. Did not see that. Wow, okay, so still bishop pair. This should be quite a fine home for the king. He is going to be picked up. 35 seconds to do it. F7's under fire, defended. And I think black is fine now. I think the worst is past here. That knight to e5 move, just as soon as that b-pawn fell, there wasn't much. Oh, that's a nice tactic. Rook takes, there would be rook takes a5. And now this bishop will be glued on that d5 square soon with e4. He's now a passed pawn. Bishops are monsters. This is their ideal environment. 20 seconds, not looking good. Whoa. We're going to see what Stockfish has to say about how to refute the white side here coming out with h4. I'm sure there was a lot of shifts, a lot of ups and downs. a2 is covered. 10 seconds, that's the biggest issue here. Who cares about the position? No increment, 10 seconds to 2 minutes. It's too much. So what's white going to come up with? Rook c2, king d3? No. Avoid the bishop exchange, bishop f4. Keep the bishops on board. Keep this king. For as long as these bishops are on board, the king doesn't have a... he just resigned. Yeah, the king can never feel comfortable on any one color complex. Okay, Psycho Cowboy is going to continue going at it, but I'm going to review the game that he just played. Let me just bring it up here. Alright, let's see what exactly went on in this game real quick. h4, craziness. You can see the evaluation on the right, so get a little bit of a feel for where we stand. Nothing's too great here. This is pretty wild, my goodness. I mean, so obviously white just already knew that he was going to go in for the exchange. So, could take advantage of the pin on the A file, but okay. Computer doesn't seem to be too enthusiastic on the black side. Not so much of an advantage here. A lot of pressure on the center. Knight out. I'd prefer to e3 here. Now it's going back to bishop takes. Probably have to give it some time here with such a wacky position. A lot of move choices here. E3 and then f6 is being called for next. Just reinforce that. Yeah. After that, So some shift here. Knight d4. Oh, this is already winning for black with f6. Only 4 seconds was spent on this one. This knight is in fact out of squares. If this pawn was already up on e3, this idea to kick the knight wouldn't be available because of queen h4. Then pawn push, knight takes. If I'm to just go back one, if let's say before the knight developed, let's say here, and then just making a dummy move, this stuff here, f6 wouldn't be available because of queen h5. But that's clearly not the case we're in right now. f6 would have been a game ender after just 11 moves. But okay, knight f6 and it's game back on. Pretty equal. And now white is just better. Grabbing the bishop. Figured there would be a lot of shifts here. Knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes f6, pawn takes, and then knight c3. Oh, that would have been pretty sweet. Pressure on d5 and watch out queen. Wow. Okay. Instead, development takes now, but not as effective. Queen takes. Where are some other shifts here? Let me see if this was correct. Yeah, I was pointing out that, at this point with bishop to e7, or I should say with knight to f6 at this stage right here, black is trying to get rid of this dark square bishop just to have an entry point and take advantage of the king position. Trying to formulate a plan here in blitz or just an over-the-board play, it would be how can you really take advantage of the fact that white is lagging in development here? How to take advantage of the white king position. It starts with recognizing that this bishop is really the glue for the position. He's holding things together, not allowing that rook activity. For the moment, there's no rook activity by way of a2. And so knight f6, queen exchange, rook recaptures. If white is taking, yeah, that's what I thought. Black would really be putting some pressure now on the white side. Rook a1, rook a3, rook a2, all three possibilities. Rook a1 being the big one. Yeah, that would be very uncomfortable. So he was really quick to avoid the knight exchange. How much time was spent? 4 minutes, 6 seconds at this stage. And it's just immediate. It's just an immediate recognition that, you can't allow that dark square bishop exchange. So he just retreated. And yeah, roughly equal right here. Rook to b1. How about that? Instead of retreating, which isn't bad, but okay, yeah, rook to b1 simply stops the win of material. King e1, and now, he's not even strictly defensive. That was my first thought. He's just there to defend against that little fork on d2. But he's ideally placed to support this passed pawn as soon as the bishop moves. And in fact, this rook, if black does go for this check on d2, the rook on d8 is restricted now. I don't know what the great follow-up would be from here for black. So, okay, rook b1 would have been better. And I thought right around this point here, instead of that, I thought f4. Is f4 being called for? That suggests bishop to b2. Okay, similar, better, because you're essentially developing. Anything wrong with f4? No, but why not develop and defend against knight to e5 at this point? Yeah, he's maybe playing too quick. And after knight e5, yeah, now black is the better side. Crashing through here. What would have been better? Instead of rook takes b5, now rook takes b5 is fine. Scooping up a pawn. Rook a5 plus 2 for black. How could black finish white off? F takes e. Something was lost right there. I went a little bit too fast. Oh, at this point right here, instead of rook to a5. Whoa, bishop to b4. Wow. Bishop b4 one move sooner. That's crazy. Knight takes rook. -4. Rook takes. King f1, knight d3. That's tough to see. That's real tough to see. Rook f2, the bishop's hit. In fact, the bishop's trapped. Wow. Imagine that. That's real difficult to see at this stage right here. The piece is hanging. Bishop to b4 immediately. Well, that would have been an interesting shot. And right around here, I think it's close to equal. No, it still likes black, but still quite difficult. Bishop takes pawn was running into this tactic here. White was being very sneaky. Bishop takes pawn. Rook c5 would have been better. But yeah, bishop takes, and now it's pretty evenish. Probably from here on out. And the time edge was just way too much. Black lost on time at this point. But what a wacky game, that's for sure, coming out of the gates here. d4, d5, h4. Right out of theory. throw the opening books away, but I guess he lived up to his name with this game right here, Psycho Cowboy. But okay, as usual, feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye.